How's it going, everyone? My name's Brandorkian. Now let's get dorky. As you can see, there's a little bit of a change in scenery. I'm currently at my wife's parents' house in New Hampshire. There's gonna be a couple more videos, probably the next couple days, and then I'm gonna be continuing to do some more live streams when I get back to New York. But for now, let's get right into the video. So today's video is 25 facts that we currently know about Gen 2 and the Gen 2 update. Number one is that the news feature is now in the game. If you go into your menu and you look under the tips and settings sections at the top right, you will see that there is now a news button. When you tap the news button, it will show you an image of the 3 starter Pokemon for Generation 2 and a little bit of verbiage talking about the 80 new Pokemon that are now in the game. This area is going to be used probably for future updates and other things that Niantic wants us to know. I'm hoping that in the future, they're going to be a little bit more transparent with us as their community, and hopefully we will get more news than we usually do from Twitter or Facebook, and we'll get it in the game itself. Also, maybe we won't have to rely so much on the APK data mines, and Niantic will actually tell us some of the stuff that are in the updates before they actually come out, or what's to come in this news section. Number 2, baby Pokemon are not catchable in the wild. This is something we weren't exactly sure about at first, but it looks like now baby Pokemon other than Togetic are not catchable in the wild. Now technically Togetic is not a baby Pokemon, however it does evolve from Togepi, but it looks like right now baby Pokemon are still only hatchable, but you can find Togetic in the wild. However, Togetic is one of the hardest Pokemon to catch. I've heard of people using 55 raspberries and 55 Ultra Balls and just catching it after that. Number 3, all Generation 2 Pokemon can be found in eggs, or at least all the starter evolutions for each of these Pokemon. If you want to know more, make sure to click the link in the description down below. I will link to this chart that is currently showing, and you can click it and zoom in a little bit more and see exactly which Pokemon come out of which distance eggs. Number 4, when the Generation 2 was released, when all of the Pokemon started popping up around the world, nests were actually changed. Now there are actually Generation 2 Pokemon nests for even Pokemon like Houndour and other Pokemon that you might not have thought could actually be nest Pokemon. Make sure to check out the Sylph Road Nest Atlas, which will also be in the description down below, to see if maybe there's a nest of a Pokemon that you don't have yet around your area, and then you could go catch that Pokemon and maybe even get enough to evolve to its 2nd or 3rd form. Number 5, the unknown are the rarest Pokemon in the game. These Pokemon are more rare than Tyranitar. Now there are 28 variations of unknown, and they are all within the game themselves. That means that not only are they the hardest Pokemon to find in general, but they are the hardest Pokemon to find, and you have to find 28 of them. So imagine having to find 28 different Dragonites. Now hopefully you'll get lucky and you'll find 28 different ones in a row and not the same one multiple times, but there is always that chance. Number 6, there is actually a badge that is now in the game to get unknown. This was something we found in the data mine a while ago, but now actually once you catch an unknown, the badge will be unlocked and you can see that you have one out of a certain amount of unknown until you get bronze, silver, and gold medals, and then you can get a reward, hopefully, for unknown. I'm hoping that if you can get all 28, maybe we can see an Entei. I doubt that's gonna happen, but that would definitely be a feat that would be worth bragging about all around the world. Contrary to popular belief, there actually aren't any Gen 2 regional exclusives right now. A lot of people thought Heracross was going to be the regional exclusive, myself included, but it looks like Heracross has been found outside of South America, which is what people thought the regional exclusive would be for. However, Heracross is not a regional exclusive Pokemon. Number 8, Lapras was actually nerfed. Lapras was supposed to be nerfed way back a couple months ago when they nerfed and changed the dynamics of a lot of the Pokemon. Rhydon was buffed and some other Pokemon were nerfed. Lapras was supposed to be nerfed back then, but for some reason Niantic didn't do it, so they figured that the best time to do it would be now during this update. So unfortunately, if you have a Lapras like me that was in your top 6, in fact mine was number 2 in my top 6, now it probably will not be. Mine is now like 7 or 8, so if you do have a high CP Lapras and you've been throwing candies in it, unfortunately it is nerfed, but it's still a good Pokemon to fight Dragonites. Number 9, if you want to get an Umbreon or an Espeon, the naming trick works for these Pokemon. You have to use the naming trick just like you use for Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon. The name to get Umbreon is Tameo, and the name to get Espeon is Sakura. If you want these Pokemon, make sure on your best EVs, on the EVs you want to be these Pokemon, to name them these names. However, this trick only works once. Just like with the other evolutions, make sure that you have your best EVs that you want to get these Pokemon. Because once you use the name trick once, everything else is always gonna be random no matter what you name them. Number 10, evolution items. Evolution items are obtained from Pokestops and are extremely rare. I was in New York City yesterday. I must have spun well over 100 Pokestops between me and the Go Plus, and I only got one evolution item, the King's Rock. So make sure that if you want some evolution items, you are out and about spinning a bunch of Pokestops. Number 11, the buddy Pokemon distances have been found, they have been researched. Here is the chart, and I will also again link it in the description down below so you can see what buddy Pokemon require to get a candy, what distance each buddy Pokemon requires to get a candy. So make sure to check that out if you want to start putting your buddy Pokemon in and you're not really exactly sure what it's really worth. Number 12, Gen 2 movesets are actually in a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon now. So if you catch a Generation 1 Pokemon or you evolve a Generation 1 Pokemon, you might actually get some moves that were introduced in this update. Now, that also means that some of the moves that were in the old update no longer can be given to Generation 1 Pokemon. If you have Pokemon with these moves, then they will keep them. But if you try and evolve a new one or you find a new one, a new Generation 1 Pokemon, and you want one of these older moves, then unfortunately you're out of luck. So make sure to click the link in the description. There will be an article to let you know which Pokemon moves are legacy now and which Pokemon moves are continuing through to this update. In gyms, charge moves no longer go above 3 bars. That means you will not see one with 4 or 5 bars in your charge moves. It's only gonna be 3, 2, or 1 bars. Number 14, a lot of the moves have been revamped. That means a lot of the normal charge moves have gotten a buff. Some of them have also gotten nerfed, but for the most part, most of the charge moves and most of the movesets in general have gotten buffed. So make sure to check out your Pokemon and see what the buff is for your Pokemon. A lot of good moves have been increased by at least 20 to 50 points more damage. It seems as though gender variations are also now visible on a lot of Pokemon. So if you're excited about having a male and a female type of Pokemon, make sure to look at them because you will most likely find gender variations on certain Pokemon now. There is a new bonus in the game, and this is a first throw bonus or a first catch bonus. This basically means that when you throw the ball for the first time, you don't use any other balls but the first one, you will catch the Pokemon. That will award you 50 extra experience and 100 if you're using a lucky egg. Number 17, if you've played a gym battle since the Generation 2 update has been released, then you can see that gym battles are actually much slower than they used to be. I don't know why Niantic has done this, but they've slowed down gym battles. So make sure that if you're fighting Pokemon like Blissey, that you are trying to get as much attacks in as possible with your quickest Pokemon, otherwise you might end up getting timed out. Number 18, the throw mechanic has changed. If you're trying to catch it with one finger, you're trying to throw a Pokeball with one finger, it actually might be a little bit easier now than it once was. This is actually found in the code as well. They have tweaked the catching mechanic a little bit. It might be harder at first. You will probably end up overthrowing a couple of times trying to catch a Pokemon, but the best thing now is that for people like me, for Pokemon Go YouTubers and people who record themselves while playing, having only one hand, it's actually easier to catch a Pokemon. But remember, don't swipe too hard or you will overthrow the ball. Number 19, there is now critical catch. This was something we saw in the code a little bit while ago, but now it is released. That means you will throw a Pokeball and it shake once, you will just gotcha. Now, I was getting this quite a bit when Generation 2 first came out. However, I don't really know if it was lag from the servers or if it was actually critical catch, but I think I have at least gotten one Pokemon where I just threw the ball and it just caught the Pokemon instantly. So if that happens, that is a critical catch. Candies have now changed. If you get a phase 1 or a first evolution of a Pokemon, it will be worth 3 candies. If you get a phase 2, like a Pidgeotto, you will get 5 candies, and if you get phase 3, like a Pidgeot, you will get 10 candies. You not only get a candy bonus, but you also get a Stardust bonus for Pokemon now. So for first evolution Pokemon, you get 100 Stardust. For the second, you get 300, and for the third, you get 500 Stardust. So go out and try and catch those second and third evolutions of Pokemon because you will get a ton of candy. And if you use a peanut berry as well, you can even get up to 20 candy for a Pokemon species. Number 21, Pokemon like Zubat have had their candies kind of altered. So Zubat to Golbat is now only 25 candies, not 50. So if Pokemon were given a third evolution, their candies have been decreased to get them to their second evolution. So Horsey to get to Seadra is not 50, it's only 25 now as well. Number 22, when you're trying to catch a Pokemon, their tactics and their dodge tactics have changed. Depending on the type of Pokemon that you're trying to catch, whether it be a certain type like electric or flying or anything like that, they will do certain moves to dodge you. So make sure that if you're going after one of these Pokemon that you really, really want, use a Nina Berry so that you can actually potentially catch these Pokemon that are gonna be zigzagging and doing a lot more unique moves than we've ever seen in the past. Number 23, new berries are actually in level rewards now. So if you aren't the max level in the game, if you're not level 40 and you're leveling up, you will actually get some of the new berries when you level up now for rewards. Number 24, Centrant, Hoot Hoot, and Yamna have now been confirmed that they can be turned into Ditto. So if you're going for one of these Pokemon and they turn into Ditto, it's unfortunate now that people don't want Ditto as much, but that is definitely possible. And finally, number 25, you can use Pokecoins to get new styles for your avatar. So make sure if you haven't checked it out yet, to go into your avatar style screen and look at some of the options. There are a lot of new options to make you unique. Now my character has glasses to match me more and actually a Team Instinct shirt. So it does cost Pokecoins, but there are some really cool outfits. Remember, all of these are subject to change. Niantic can change anything. Other news can come to light. As of right now, what I have researched seems to point in the direction that all of these are correct. But if some of these do end up changing, I will do an update video on these in the future. And that's it for today's video on the 25 things we know about Generation 2 and the Generation 2 update. I'm sure you've heard a couple of these from other YouTubers and from other places. You probably already know some of these, but I'm hoping that you did find some of these useful and that you didn't know about some of these since this video has come out. Now, I will be going back to New York on Monday. Soon there will be regular vlogs again and regular streams again. But for right now, it's gonna be a little bit irregular. There's gonna be this video today, possibly another video tomorrow, but if not, there will definitely be at least a live stream Monday night when I get back to New York, and then we'll get back onto a normal schedule. I hope you guys are enjoying Generation 2. I hope you're hyped, and whenever there's more news and more facts, I will make sure to update you as soon as I hear about it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a like. Let me know down below if any of these you didn't know and that you're happy that I shared them with you, and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, stay dorky.